do I have a fresh delicacy to serve you guys this evening? One of the primary areas of focus here on the channel is the created narrative in the mainstream media of mythical racism. Many times in the past, I have had people accuse me of mythical racism because I speak out against this garbage. There's a reason that I call it mythical racism. The meaning of the term is exactly how it sounds. It doesn't mean that I'm downplaying real racism in America, whether it's from the past or the present. I'm talking about mythical racism that the mainstream media creates to keep us divided. Or in the case of Stephen A. Smith, he creates these claims to keep his bi-weekly $500,000 checks and woke welfare coming. A couple of weeks ago, Bobby Burek over at Outkick wrote an extensive article about media-created racism. The premise of the article was based in the fact that real racism is short on supply and also short on demand. I mean, minorities aren't walking the streets clamoring for stories of mythical racism, begging for the media to turn them into victims. Like I've told you guys before, when the supply of mythical racism dries up, when the media can't spin organic stories to fit their narrative, they simply make shit up. Which is exactly what happened this morning on Woke Take. Brother Stephen A. Smith, head deacon at Woke United Methodist, he woke up early this morning, so he would be the first in line at the ESPN cafeteria. The cafeteria at ESPN, it's a shitfuck's dream. Us normal people, we eat bacon and eggs for breakfast with a side of grits. That doesn't meet the nutritional guidelines of a healthy shitfuck. You need the proper vitamins and minerals to create fantastical stories involving woke boner words. The ESPN cafeteria has you covered. For on-air script readers with smaller facial orifices, they provide squash. For petite NFL analysts like Mina Kimes, they provide freshly squeezed lemonade. For shitfucks like Max Kellerman, who is still serving out his punishment in the ESPN dungeon, they walk down there and give him a nice bowl of Fruity Pebbles, topped off with Ryan Clark's special milk. Those nutritional options, though, they didn't meet the appetite of Brother Stephen A. Smith this morning. No. He woke up hungry. He woke up filled with fake anger at what he witnessed watching the NFL yesterday afternoon. As you guys know, Stephen A. has a gigantic facial orifice. The mouth-farting motor in his face is rivaled only by the Grand Canyon and the face of pretend Governor Stacey Abrams. Stephen A. knew that he would need proper nutrition for the fictional story that he was planning to create this morning on Woke Take. He had ESPN reach out to Oscar Mayer to place an emergency order for their monthly special that's usually reserved for June, the month of Woke Christmas. Call up Oscar Mayer. Tell them Stevie needs an expedited order for the big stick. He sat down for breakfast this morning to enjoy the Whopper-sized woke wiener. With his gas tank properly filled, he hopped on his broom to ride over to the studio. By the time Woke Take went on the air this morning, the mouth farts were flowing out of Stephen A. Smith faster than Leah Thomas swims in a wading pool. We are 6 weeks into the NFL season. Not 1 week has gone by without the mainstream media creating stories involving mythical racism. Just over the weekend, we talked about Jenna Lane from ESPN trying to bait Todd Bowles with gotcha questions. We had the mythical racism involving Tua, Tiffer, the bongo sniffer on MSNBC, claiming the NFL doesn't care about the safety of black players. Dominique Foxworth, the NFL analyst hired by ESPN for diversity reasons. His name is Dominique. When people hear his name and see his feminine face, they will mistake him for a woke woman. The man they call Foxy preached to us about our hypocrisy when it comes to the health of black players. Brother Stephen A. Smith, the face of mythical racism, he could no longer sit back and let his colleagues do all the creating, take all the glory. He was tired of being left out of the woke hug celebrations. For the past month, Stephen A. has been so focused on mythical racism in the NBA that he's forgotten about the NFL. Last night, after Stephen A. and Max Kellerman finished a passionate round of Rocky Road, they engaged in some pillow talk. Max, I don't know what to do. I have writer's block. I can't think of any fake claims of racism in the NFL. Baby, please help me. You're the smartest birthing person I know. I've got you covered, Stevie. I have the perfect claim. This will put you back on the Mount Rushmore of mythical racism. Oh, don't say that. Pastor Jalen Rose has forbidden the use of Mount Rushmore. Right. Sorry, Stevie. It will return you to Brokeback Mountain. Tomorrow morning on Woke Take, you're going to create a claim of mythical racism involving Tom Brady. Tom Brady? Tom Brady? When I first saw this headline, I was confused. What the hell does Tom Brady, what has he done to get him accused of mythical racism? This is the same dude that revived the career of Antonio Brown when the rest of the NFL was done with him. If I had to guess, Tom Brady also played a part in getting Todd Bowles the head coaching position in Tampa. Now, I know Bruce Arians was instrumental in that process, but the Bucs were not hiring a head coach without getting the stamp of approval from Tom Brady. Once I saw this headline on Mediaite, I was interested to see the angle Brother Stephen was going to take. It is no secret that Tom Brady has a volatile temper. He's known to yell at teammates. He's known to break tablets on the sidelines. Yesterday afternoon in Pittsburgh, Tom Brady's temper was once again on full display. He was pissed off with the offensive line and their inability to protect him. Who can blame him? If I was 45 years old, I was getting my ass handed to me on every play, I'd be pissed off too. But it wasn't the outburst that gave Brother Stephen A. a woke boner, although he is known to get excited when he hears a man scream. But it wasn't the outburst. It was the lack of reaction to the outburst. Watch for yourself as Stephen A. Smith carefully crafts another story of mythical racism. Roll the film.
But I want to get to a bigger point before I pass it to you. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to be consistent. Was Tom Brady passionate, or was he the angry white guy? Because if that was somebody else doing what he was doing with his offensive lineman, we would have been talking about, if that was a black man, we would have been talking about his temper. We'd have been talking about the fact that he might not need to act like that with the cameras rolling. I had no problem with it whatsoever. If brothers ain't blocking for you, you 45 years old, you behind the center, and you getting smacked around, you damn right you should get in their face. I have no issue with what Tom Brady did with them whatsoever. All I'm trying to say is that when a black quarterback does that, I don't want to hear nothing about it since nobody's saying anything about Tom Brady doing it.
Do you see what I'm talking about now? This is 100% fabricated garbage. I would give Stephen A. credit for coming up with this, but we all know he didn't. This narrative is coming straight from the top at ESPN. Replace Tom Brady in this situation with Lamar Jackson. Name one media outlet that would call him an angry black man. Name one prominent figure who would go forward with that narrative. If Lamar Jackson was getting sacked every other play and he's caught on camera yelling at his offensive line, no one would think anything about it. These people are obsessed with race. It's all they think about. I guess that's what Stephen A. Smith was talking about when he said, we need to be consistent. I apologize to my lonely male followers. I've been so focused on Ime Udoka in the NBA, I have not been consistent creating stories of mythical racism in the NFL. Someone please give me one example of an athlete being called an angry black man. Just one example. Michael Jordan was constantly in the face of his teammates. Don't remember him ever being called angry black man. The latter years of Antonio Brown's NFL career were a fucking circus. I don't remember anyone claiming his race had anything to do with his behavior. Just yesterday, Panthers receiver Robbie Anderson was seen on the sidelines arguing with his coaches. They ended up kicking his ass out of the game, then traded him to Arizona. Not one fucking time did anyone inject race into the conversation. Not one time did anyone claim his outburst had anything to do with his race. Or say he shouldn't be losing his temper like that with cameras rolling. That never came up. So I'm confused as to what the fuck Stephen A. Smith is talking about here. Let me ask you something. You think he would have spun this same narrative if he was a guest on Fox News? Remember a couple of weeks ago, I showed you guys the interview Stephen A. did on Fox News with Jesse Waters. Remember how he was talking common sense, talking about the out-of-control crime in major cities run by woke shit fucks? He called out Gavin Newsom for destroying the state of California. Compare that Stephen A. Smith with brother Stephen A. that we see every morning on Woke Take? Which one is the real Stephen A. Smith? Does he not promote mythical racism on Fox News because he's afraid of being challenged? Or does he not promote it because he doesn't really believe it? He knows that he won't be challenged on ESPN. I'm sure they were pounding his ass with the cucumber when they went to commercial break. Either this dude doesn't know what he believes and he plays the part of a chameleon blending in with whatever his surroundings are, or ESPN's paying him to push this garbage. There's absolutely no justification for bringing race into this conversation about Tom Brady's temper. None. There's just no justification for it. So I ask you again, who is the real Stephen A. Smith? I'll be honest with you, my opinion hasn't changed. I don't think he believes this bullshit. I think Stephen A. Smith sold out for the money. He sold out for generational wealth. He agreed to play his part. He's essentially an actor playing a role in a TV series. But what do you think? Who is the real Stephen A. Smith? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.